Welcome everyone to Mail Fuzz News. It is your Friday edition. I am Peter. I'm joined by Matt. Ta-da.
What am I doing here?
I don't know what you're doing here, but you're here.
I tripped and fell through a portal.
Yes, this is the price of doing content during the week, Matt. This is the price.
I don't like it.
So, well, you'll be lucky because I mean, yesterday's news was kind of a 2-day batch because there was no headline stuff the previous day, so it was a bigger episode. Today's a bit lighter. I flipped it to start with the TV today because probably the biggest headline is a TV thing. The first thing on the docket is that Netflix have announced they've greenlit a Witcher origin show, a limited series called The Witcher Blood Origin, which is going to be set 1,200 years before the main show. And it'll have the origins of the very first Witcher. So they're milking this cash cow for everything.
So no Henry Cavill.
I would presume not. I'd be surprised. I mean, did you watch the?
No.
I think you did.
But Henry Cavill. I know things.
Well, I mean, this always looked like they want this to be their Game of Thrones. So maybe they're actually getting ahead of the curve here by doing their prequel first and saying, no, we'll get a prequel out before they do prequels.
Yeah.
But I love the games. I did not get into the show. I hated the first episode, but yes, they're doing more. So make of that what you will.
Cool.
Yeah, more fantasy for people. Next up, HBO is developing a comedy set in the world of Sugar Baby. This is something you'll be very knowledgeable on, Matt. Where an older person dates a younger person with the promise of money and gifts. Matt's all up in this scene.
Yeah, clearly. Look at me. Look at all my stuff.
Sugar comes from Canadian filmmaker Emma Seligman and Adam Mackay and is Hyper Object Industries production company. It's a half-hour show. It'll follow a young woman in New York who balances her neurotic Jewish family with her life as a college sugar baby. So that's your premise. So it's a comedy. I guess they'll have some fun with it.
Sure, a lot of old man jokes, I'm sure. A lot of being disgusted. I'm sure.
Well, you think maybe the character's into it. Maybe that's why she thinks this is a valid career choice for her.
Not her being disgusted, but her friends.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Big Daddy. A lot of the stuff that Adam Sandler's character says to Christy Swanson. Yeah.
I do wonder though, what if they play it like a Breaking Bad-esque thing where her sugar baby life is like a secret and she doesn't tell her, so it's like something she's hiding all the time. She's having to duck and cover for why she's hanging out with weird 50-year-old men. Or
pretty sure this is the only time anyone's compared being a sugar baby to Breaking Bad.
Instead of cooking meth, she's pleasuring old men. I mean,
I mean, the one who knocks is a completely different character. Yeah.
Hey, if she shows up to her dates with the sugar daddy with sunglasses and the hat on, and Heisenberg outfit, I'll watch it. I'll watch it just for that.
I mean, if we can get Jonathan Banks as the sugar daddy, count me in. I don't like that guy.
That's a very intense sugar. I feel like if you go to a date with him as your sugar daddy, you're going to be worried that he's going to murder you halfway through the night because he's got this intense stare the entire time.
Then it becomes a John Wick show, and I'm even more enthused.
All right. Next up, Tom Holland is taking on a role in a new series on Apple TV Plus. This is an anthology show where the season is a whole story, but then a second season would be something different. So this is not him signing up for multiple series. This is just he's going to be the star of season 1. So he's going to play a character called Billy Milligan. This is the first person ever acquitted of a crime because of multiple personality disorder, now known as dissociative identity disorder, or DID for short. The show is called The Crowded Room. It's a 10-part show. So the idea is that each season is going to explore the true and inspirational stories of those who have struggled and learned to successfully deal with mental illness. That's the part that's the most interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I would have expected the premise of the show to be notable killers or notable crimes
Crime.
or right.
Yeah.
But that's not what the focus is. The focus is the condition he had, and it's just he happened to be a killer.
Right.
Because of that. So.
Well, not because of it.
Well,
but,
not because, but you know what I mean. Like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
How it interplays and what happened that led to him being in court.
So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is maybe a more dramatic, serious role for young Tom Holland.
Yeah, I mean, he just did Cherry, which I haven't seen with the Russos for Apple Plus, so this must be part of that type of. He also get to stretch his legs a little bit from being Peter Parker and some other roles. I don't know. I know he's Billy Elliot at one point, but other than Spider-Man, I haven't seen him in much. So.
Well, we're going to see him on Uncharted.
Yeah.
They keep threatening us with this Uncharted movie.
I'll believe it when I see the first trailer. That's where I'm at.
He admitted in an interview, this was really weird, but he basically said in an interview that he has regrets over how he played the character in some ways. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to admit to before the movie's out.
This movie's cursed. You can't tell me otherwise.
And as a fan of those games, nothing about the movie other than what he's wearing resembles what I think of as the games. Maybe they'll convince me otherwise when I see it, but I'm not feeling it right now.
Yeah, but him with someone with DID, I think that's interesting. Just because, again, I haven't seen him do too much, but he's fantastic as Peter Parker. So let's see what else he can do.
Yeah, I think that presents two obstacles for an actor that if they can pull off, they'll be very impressive. One is the idea of the multiple personalities in and of itself, meaning there's a lot of range involved, but also just treating the order with sensitivity and doing it in an authentic way that's not just, I'm just going to play 5 different characters like an actor would.
Less split and more Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
Right.
Of course, one of my favorite TV shows of all time has a character with this condition. I can't say what it is though, because it's a reveal later on in the show, so so I can't spoil it. But yes,
it's not Breaking Bad.
It's not Breaking Bad. Jonathan Banks does not have the ID. He's one of his personalities is a sugar daddy.
Yeah. Oh man, what if Bob Odenkirk does though?
Oh jeez. Hey, that may explain a lot of what he does in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I gotta get caught up on Saul last season. Still sitting on the old DVR, but yeah, Jimmy's into some stuff. Saul's a different person. I mean, hey, stranger things have happened.
Hey, honestly, that last season was fantastic, and obviously there's just one left. So,
right?
You know, maybe when the new season's coming up, you can.
That's the plan.
Binge it in and binge it in. That's not a phrase. Anyway,
it is now. Put it on a t-shirt.
So I guess the last thing in the TV section is that we have updated bit of casting for a show, which I actually just talked about in yesterday's news because there was more cast for this. But this is now the lead star of The Peripheral. This is a new Amazon Prime show, which is coming from Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. So obviously they've been behind Westworld. They did Person of Interest. This is their next thing at Amazon. And One Night in Miami star Eli Goree is set to lead opposite Chloe Grace Moretz and Jack Rayner. There was a bunch of the sort of the excess cast announced yesterday. But this is to do just to sum up the premise of this again for anyone who's curious. It's based on a book, and it's about Flynn and her brother Burton. In the novel, Burton, a veteran of the United States Marine Corps elite haptic recon force, is hired for a security job which takes place on what he thinks is cyberspace. When Flynn temporarily takes his place, she witnesses something that might have been murder. So a little bit of sci-fi in there. Well, as I think it is. I could just maybe the word cyberspace I shouldn't associate with sci-fi anymore. Maybe we just have cyberspace now.
I mean, he is part of a haptic group, which makes me think of haptic feedback, which in Ready Player One. So,
I suspect some. I mean, actually, to be fair, in the first paragraph, it does call it a sci-fi thriller. So yes, there's definitely sci-fi involved.
Yeah,
so
makes sense. I mean, after this whole discussion this past week of if space could be the setting of a horror movie, yeah.
I missed this debate, this very stupid debate on Twitter.
Yeah.
I have no comment, except stupid.
I'm just saying. Once you start compartmentalizing, you're kind of taking the fun out of things. So if this wants to be a sci-fi wacky adventure, set in cyberspace. It doesn't sound like it will be. It sounds very serious.
Oh yeah, nothing that these people have done before have been wacky. And anyway, I would describe Westworld as wacky.
No, I mean, I'm sure there's some edits, you know, that you could play for humor. But yeah, do I need to finish Westworld? I finished the first season, never went back.
I mean, season 2 was a little divisive. I liked it though, and still liked a lot of it a lot. Season 3, I thought was just starting to get really good about halfway through, and then it just dived in the back half. Like, I hated the last 3 episodes. It was kind of a weird trip.
Do you know which season Brubaker worked on? Was it 2 or 3?
I can't remember.
Dang.
I cannot remember.
Just based on what you said, I'm going to say 2 because I don't want to associate it with something dying in the back end. You know?
Yeah, we were me and Connor were very critical of the back half of season 3. It was very unfortunate. So next up, so we're at the movie stuff now. First things, this is a bit businessy, this one, but it's just interesting in the sense that it means Sony aren't planning their own streaming service because they've signed a first look deal with Netflix where Netflix will get first dibs at all of Sony's movies for their streaming platform, which is just neat because it means that at least one studio isn't trying to build their own HBO Max, Disney Plus juggernaut, and therefore it's one less thing you have to worry about getting.
You're talking to someone that just found out that I get Peacock for free, so that's just another streaming service. However, that made WrestleMania 4 absolutely free this weekend, which is a rarity. But yeah, there's too many streaming services, so I commend Sony for this decision.
Yes. Now, admittedly, I think Sony's library of movies, beyond 1 or 2 exceptions, is mostly very skippable.
It's Spider-Man and
Spider-Man and Jumanji, I guess, and I suppose Bad Boys if you hold that in high regard. Typically, when I think of Sony, though, I think of Venom, Bloodshot, and like crap Men in Black sequels. That's what I think of when I think of Sony movies.
Oh snap!
So
that means I get to watch Venom Maximum Carnage from the comfort of my couch.
Although that's being directed by Andy Serkis. I keep forgetting that. I was reminded of this the other day, and I was like, "Wait, what? Serkis is directing that?"
We never really had this discussion, but Venom is bad, but it's not as bad as you think. At least for me, I watched it from the comfort of my couch. Again, I would never say it's a good movie, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. So they had this Serkis with that material. If he really leans into some of the crazier elements of it, I think it might work.
I was sold. A lot of people were telling me it was a so bad it was great movie. I did not agree with that.
No.
I found it painfully dull, and a couple of overacting moments from Tom Hardy was not enough to...
Tom Hardy was in a different movie from everybody else, and Ruben Fleischer didn't tell everybody else.
Hey, I would watch the movie that Tom Hardy thinks he's in.
Yes, 100%.
But the movie that he was actually in, not so much. Yeah. So so that's just basically it. That's the first thing. Next up, Paul Dano has been cast in a role in Spielberg's upcoming untitled Amblin film, which is loosely based on the director's childhood. Dano is going to play a character inspired by Spielberg's father. So I don't know if it's going to be there's going to be a character of Spielberg and a character of Spielberg's father, but it's just all the characters are inspired by his childhood.
I think I saw a thing where Seth Rogen's playing his grandpa or uncle, something along those lines.
There's a bit more here. He joins Michelle Williams, who's going to play the mother character, and then Seth Rogen will play the character based on his favorite uncle. So
there you go, favorite uncle. Yeah.
So it's targeting a 2022 theatrical release. Something that I've been thinking about for a while is that because so many movies got pushed back a year, we're going to have like a really sort of brisk release schedule for like a year and a half, because we're going to have a lot of things that were all ready to go and then get delayed, and then all the new things that got made. So it's going to feel really quick for a while, and then it's going to feel like it's slowing right down when everything filters out. But whatever. So yes, it's co-written by Spielberg and Tony Kushner, and produced by Spielberg, Kushner, and Christy McCosco-Krieger. So there you go.
And did you say he was directing?
I don't know if it actually says that. I think he is. Yeah, I think he is.
Okay. I need a win here. It's been a while since there's been a great Spielberg movie for me. So I'd like for this. If this is more Amblin and less what we've gotten the last 15 years, I'll be happy.
We'll see. We'll see. I've found Spielberg's output to be quite dry for the last, like, I don't know, decade. Decade or so. Paul Dano, of course, next time we see him will probably be in the Batman as the demented version of the Riddler. Be cool to see that. Next up, Warner Brothers, in a competitive bidding war, have acquired Amiibo and Me, an original comedic family adventure spec script by Free Guy writer Matt Lieberman. It'll be produced by Kenya Barris. So, yeah. And Amiibo and Me, a divorced dad goes through great lengths to get his son the hot new toy. Well, this is Jingle All the Way too, is that what you're saying? An adorable robot. But when the other toy robots rise up against their owners, the dad and his defective robot set out to save his son and the world while building a profound friendship along the way. Okay, that went in a different direction.
give me Jingle All the Way meets Child's Play.
I love that. I was thinking Jingle All the Way mixed with Small Soldiers is what I was maybe getting from that. But, I mean, either way.
I don't know, Robot Uprising seems a lot more in-depth than Small Soldiers, which I do love. It's one of my favorite Joe Dante movies, but yeah. I want to watch this.
I love Joe Dante movies. I will not fault Small Soldiers. That's been all the times I've seen that one, actually. I need to go back and watch that one. Next up, Emma Roberts has been cast as the star in Holiday. I mean, the title tells
Holiday
you...
2? Because I already watched Holiday around Christmas.
Oh, sorry, I've misread. Holiday screenwriter Tiffany Paulson is writing this. The film's called About Fate. Apologies, I jumped the gun.
Gotcha.
So Marius Weisberg is directing this. It's a romantic comedy. It's a tale of two people who believe in love but seem to never be able to find its true meaning. In a wild twist of events, fate puts each another's paths on a stormy New Year's Eve, and comedy and chaos ensue.
This is Holiday 2. This is what this is. Someone that watched it around the holidays. That's almost what Holiday was.
I don't have the pleasure of Holiday. I do like Emma Roberts. I don't know if I like her enough to watch Holiday 2. I
mean, I would. It should not be up on the top of your list, but basically, it's one part romantic comedy, one part The Long Halloween, and I mean that in each set piece is set around a different holiday, and her and this guy that she meets make themselves each other's dates.
That's nice.
I couldn't even get that out. So, yeah, they make themselves each other's dates, and romantic comedy shenanigans ensue. Seems very similar. They're not the same, but this one.
Yeah, this sounds like it's mostly going to be set on the one holiday, the one New Year's Eve. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Roberts from mainly Scream Queens. I also enjoyed her in The Black Coat's Daughter was good. And I've seen her in a couple other things, but those were the ones that really stuck out.
She's never the problem. Like, she's always, even if the movie is not that great, she's usually pretty good in it. I like her a lot.
She was in what was that one with the other Franco brother?
Franco?
Yeah.
Nerve?
Nerve. There you go. I saw that. That was only okay. It was a little bit weird though, because it was determined to have her fall for the hunky, dude on the reality internet show, but it never really kind of justified like why she was ignoring her other friends who seemed to have more chemistry with her throughout the rest of the movie. It was a bit odd, but hey, all right. So that's About Fate, or Holiday 2 as we've dubbed it.
Yes.
Next up, Focus Features has picked up a film called Silent Twins, starring Letitia Wright from Black Panther and Black Mirror and some other things. Tamara Lawrence is also going to be in it. It is an English language debut of, and I'm going to butcher this name, so bear with me. It's the English language debut of Anaiska Samozinska, and I probably butchered that. There was a lot of there's a lot of Z's in this name. There's a lot of extra constants that I don't know what to do with, but I did my best. So this is based on the lives of June and Jennifer Gibbons, real-life identical twins who grew up in Wales as the only black family in a small town. The two became known as the Silent Twins because of their refusal to communicate with anyone other than each other. They developed their own language and became catatonic when separated. The story takes place after a spree of vandalism inspired by an American boy they both idolize. When the girls, now teenagers, are sentenced to Broadmoor, an infamous psychiatric hospital where they face the choice to separate or survive or die together. So,
yeah, I'm familiar with this from my journeys into strange stories or strange real life stories. I remember like maybe an unsolved mystery or a believe it fact or fiction about these two. So the story's been out there. So this seems like it's doing the prestige version of that.
yeah, it could be a big movie about it. So, you know what? Matt can, crack his jokes about being forced to do the news, but no one else that I could have brought on here would have recognized this story and went, I know what this is. I've heard of this story.
It's true. It's other people spend their time watching movies. I spend my time reading odd stories.
Yes.
Collecting them like Robert Ripley.
So, which is why all the comments are going to tell me to make sure Matt comes back at least once a week for news, and I will do my best.
Boy.
I'll do my best, people.
You better start throwing some Patreon money, guys. Like it's money talks.
Go ahead, do your time. Connor done like 3 of these in the last week. He's
Yeah, Connor doesn't also have to go to the gym.
Connor should go to the gym.
He should. No, I know he probably runs. But like it's hot here. It's not hot where he lives. I have a window.
So, well, are you saying that there's a window of time where it's just cool enough to go to the gym and any other time is...
No. I mean, he could run at any time.
Oh,
right?
sure,
With me, like, I have to go to an air-conditioned place if, Yeah.
So, last up then, we have a trailer. We'll wrap up with a movie trailer. We watched the trailer for The Woman in the Window, starring Amy Adams. And this is a movie that if I remember correctly, this was supposed to come out ages ago. And it's been picked up by Netflix, but I think it was picked up by Netflix after the pandemic started and things started not getting released. So, so as this is, she plays an agoraphobic woman who lives in an apartment. She kind of befriends a neighbor, played by Julianne Moore, and she has kind of a Rear Window-esque sort of witness event where she thinks she sees her be attacked by her husband, seemingly played by Gary Oldman.
This is just Rear Window.
Well, yeah, but the main character Rear Window didn't suffer from paranoid delusions and stuff to make it like, oh, is it real or not?
No. However, Hitchcock did kind of play that, if he was going not insane, but more like cabin fever, right? Because he couldn't leave because of his foot, right?
Sure. No, but I take umbrage with just saying it's Rear Window because I'll be honest, I think this looked like shit. And I do not want it compared to Rear Window.
Yeah. So this has a cast that I would love to watch in something like this. However, the trailer did it no favors because I feel like I know exactly where the story's going.
Do you know what it is? It's because you've got Julianne Moore, you got Amy Adams, you've got Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gary Oldman, Brian Tyree Henry, who was just in Godzilla vs Kong. Like you've got this cast, but this movie reeks of we assembled a cast for a Hollywood thriller, and it reminds me of what was that? I never saw it, but it's the Snowman.
The Woman on the Train.
Oh, The Woman on the Train's another one. Yeah, that's the same thing. But it's that kind of like this was clearly supposed to come out September, October. The big prestige cast Hollywood thriller, but it looks overwritten and cliched to shit. And a lot of it is the police being like, oh, but your medication makes you hallucinate, doesn't it? And she's like freaking out and she's like getting messages on her laptop and she doesn't know if someone's watching her.
And also the creative team, you have Joe Wright, who's a pretty decent director. He knows the way around the camera, knows how to tell a story. And Tracy Letts, who's a pretty adept screenwriter. At least that's a name I recognize. And I just, this trailer, I don't know. It felt like, I don't like using the word try hard, but it was very like, hey, look what we did. Look at this cast.
Hell, Wyatt Russell's in it, who I did spot in the trailer. Apparently Anthony Mackie's in it. I didn't even see him in the trailer, I don't think.
I didn't even see him either.
So, admittedly, Wyatt Russell and Gary Oldman were both blinking. You'll miss them as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, this is coming out on the 14th of May on Netflix.
And if it's on Netflix, I'm probably going to watch it, right? You know, because if this was in the movie theater, I'd be like, eh. But you know, comfort of my own home, without having to pay an extra fee. Looking at you, Disney Plus. Then yeah. Music by Danny Elfman.
Oh God!
Like,
oh!
So, which you know, it's gonna have a lot of deedly dee, bom, 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 because they all do. You know, I like Danny Elfman, but
I don't know. I would say they all do. I'll say most of the ones that he cares about do. There is definitely a category of movie that he scores where he clearly doesn't give a shit, and he just phones in a generic thing that he's basically copy and pasting from the library.
now he's doing the next Doctor Strange with
Raimi,
his good old partner, right, with Raimi. So, well, excited to hear that those big drums and horns again. You know,
I know. I mean, you try and make me care about Doctor Strange too, because I don't like Doctor Strange. You try and make me care about it by saying it's connecting to the Scarlet Witch stuff, the multiverse stuff, but then you give me Danny Elfman and even same Raimi. I love the Evil Dead movies, but I am not a huge fan of his Spider-Man movies, so I'm not feeling.
Here's the thing, though. You would rather have him or Scott Derrickson?
I mean, he's better than Derrickson. I mean, absolutely. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We're trading.
I mean, nothing against if Scott Derrickson ever listens to this. I mean, I've only ever seen of his movies Doctor Strange, so no shots, sir. However,
I'll fire them.
I'm not mad at Raimi.
I'll fire them across the bow. Don't you worry.
You can fire them.
Yeah. So yeah, Woman in the Window looks kind of shitty. Honestly, it looks like a generic glitz. It's like it's got all the glamour and glitz of a Hollywood thriller, but doesn't look like it's got any of the weight or, So.
Also based off of a novel, which those seem to be.
I mean, everything is these days. Now. Yeah.
Yeah, since Gone Girl, I know it's weird because movies have always been based off of novels, but like since Gone Girl, they've really ramped up.
I mean, I don't mind. Like, I was saying this just yesterday on the news. I think that at least something based on a novel is not a sequel, a prequel, or a reboot. Like, or part of a shared universe. So at least it's something relatively fresh, and that it's not been a movie yet. So I'm okay with that. But hey, there you go. That's the news for today. So thank you for joining us. You can, of course, support us by hitting the like button and subscribing and commenting. All these things are very important. And yeah, in the comments, just tell Matt that you want him around occasionally on the news, and I can use it to emotionally blackmail him. That'll be nice.
Better people have tried.
So do that. Of course, you can support us financially over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV for as little as $1 per month and help keep all the content coming. So please go and have a look at that if you're interested. Catch us on Twitter at mail_fuzz for channel updates. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. And we will see you next time.